like sorter, sequence generator, right? These transformation we can discuss or rank, right? So if I want to use a sorter transformation, right? Why we use sorter transformation? Because if I have a flat file as a source, right, and then I want to sort the data, or I want to filter out something, right, in the source itself, or I want to select distinct, right? In that case, after my source, flat file source, I can have a sorter transformation. Or in the middle of the mapping, if I want to kind of deduplicate the data, or in the middle of the mapping I want to kind of now again sort on a particular key, right? In that case I can use sorter, right? Here I'm just going to have a sorter transformation just to show the use case or how to configure it basically. So this is what my sorter is. I'll place in between my source and expression. Okay, and then if I click on this arrange all sign, right, it will get arranged. So sorter, I do have incoming fields over here. If I go to the sort tab, I'll be able to sort the data on the basis of field, right? Which field? And here I can use ascending descending. So last time whenever we wanted to sort the data in the source transformation itself, right, relational source, that time I just had a ascending sort. If I want to do the descending sort, really again I can use the sorter. So here I can just use a key, maybe my customer ID, on which I want to do the ascending sort. Even I can have more fields to do sorting. Maybe I can do ascending sort from my customer ID, and then from email I can do descending sort. I can do anything, right? Whatever I want, the way I want to sort the data. And then in the advanced, if I go here, I'll see these options, right? um Case sensitive sort if it is, right, or select the distinct, right? Using select distinct, what will happen? I will deduplicate the data on the basis of my key which are provided in the sorting logic, right? So on the basis of customer ID and email, if I have any duplicates, then I will be able to get rid of those duplicates using the distinct key. Again, these properties options are exactly similar to sorter transformation I have in the Informatica Power Center. Treat null treated low, right? Usually whenever I sort the data, right, now over here, if I have, let me just take off the email for now. So I'm doing a ascending sort on my customer ID, and as my customer ID is a primary key in the source, right, there is no way that I will have duplicates, right? But just imagine that this is a flat file or any particular table where I do not have constraints. In that case, if I just select the null treated as low, then what will happen? Whenever my sorting happens, those nulls will be treated as like, those will go to bottom by default. If I don't uncheck, if I don't check it, by default all nulls will go come top of the order. So that is how like we need to um, you know ascend or arrange it. So that is this option, optional and all, this is again same. And as it is a sorter transformation, it will have its own cache, sorter cache. So sorter cache size, mostly it will be auto. But then if I am dealing with like huge data, and that is why if uh, on the runtime, if my uh, cache memory is blowing out, right, in that case I can just have some custom value, user defined value, and then allow my sort to have more or bigger size of cache, right? 90% of the time auto option will do, unless I'm dealing with like lot of data where I want to explicitly increase the cache size, then only I'll go for the value and I can provide the value over here.
Oh,
So yep, sorter is like very simple, right? After
yeah,
sorter, say for example I want to have a sequence transformation, right? So I want to
yeah,
create a
yeah.
sequence, right? In that case I can just bring this sequence, right? Now this sequence, right, usually in the power center, sequence will not accept any incoming fields. Here I do have a choice, right, that I can have sequence as completely connected transformation, or I can keep it as standalone, right? So if I go to the properties of sequence, if I go to advanced, disable incoming fields, if I click this, right, then it will not accept any incomings and it will directly go to the next transformation, right? This property is changed recently, right? So I would say whenever I used to have sequence 4 5 months ago, right, it was always like this, right? Now they have brought some improvisation by which we can adjust this property to accept the incoming fields, right? And then using this we can actually connect it from like source or any particular transformation, and then we can have those fields, every fields from sorter to sequence and sequence to next, right? That way also we can configure it, right? But for now I'll just say disable, and then I will tick it to my expression. Now let's configure this. So I'll go to sequence tab. In the sequence tab, here I do have the properties like initial value, end value, incremented by, right? So initial value is 1 by default, incremented by also 1, and this is the maximum possible sequence number it can generate. As a maximum possible value can be generated. And then if I go by these default properties, then what will happen? Sequence will start with value 1 and it will keep on increasing like 1, 2, 3 as incremented by is also 1, right? If I want to generate a sequence of all odd numbers, so I'll say this. So incremented by 2, right? So 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, that kind of sequence will be generated. If I say start with 2, then it will create a sequence of all even numbers, 2, 4, 6, 7, 10, like that. That way, if I want to be like, generate a sequence in multiple of tens, so if I set 10 here and 10 here, it will generate sequence 10, 20, 30, 40. So as per my expectation or the use, right, I can generate a sequence, right? I can even do a cycle of sequence, or I can generate a sequence in a loop. So say for example I want to generate a sequence from 1 to 10, right? So I can say start with 1, select the cycle option, increment by 1, and then cycle end value. Cycle start value will also be 1, and this end value I'll just mark it as. Now what will happen? It will generate values like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to 10. After 10 again it will reset and it will start from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1 to 10, 1 to 10, these values will keep on rotating, keep on getting generated, and accordingly it
Yeah.
will be
Mm.
pushed to the next thing. This is cycle option, right? So these basic transformations are very similar to power center. We have a reset option also. If you select the, say, if you reach to the limit of this number,
10.
right? In that case, you
Yeah.
can just click reset, right?
Reset
And
and
then
we start
again, it
from
will
1
start
again.
from 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you keep on, so if you select the reset by default, right? Then every time
Mm.
whenever you run the mapping, it will start fresh, right? Usually we don't do that, right? Whenever we
Correct.
are
Yeah.
supposed to generate a surrogate key, right, then I need
Mm.
to know what was the last generated sequence, and if I just uncheck it,
Yeah.
right, then sequence will have its own cache memory. So whatever last generated value will be cached, right? So today if I created this mapping and I run this mapping, I populated 5 rows in my target. The last
Mm.
value was 5, was the sequence, right? So whenever I'm going to run this mapping again tomorrow or next time, right, it will start from 6, 7, 8, 9, because last generated value was cached, right? But if I say reset, right, then every time it will start fresh. Okay, so again, if I want to generate a sequence to a table where I have selected truncate table option, right? If truncate table is there and still I want to push the surrogate key, right, in that case I can use this reset,
Mm.
right? Because if I'm truncating, there is no
Yeah.
way like I'll start like 6, 7, and it will be, I will be clueless why it is happening, right? So that time I can
Mm.
use this reset. Okay, and then if I go to
Yeah.
generated fields, I do have next val and curval. Again, these are
Mm.
similar fields to what my power center offers. Okay, now if I go to, now I have configure this sequence transformation. If I go to my target in the field mappings, now I do have a customer number as a field, like a surrogate key. So what I can do is, I don't see that, right? Let me see why it is not coming. If I go to the expiration, sorry, incoming fields, one sec, I think I missed something to configure over here. Advanced, we have this caching option, and then generated fields. Okay, by default it should come. And then if I go to, and then I'll start seeing that to my target. I can absolutely directly connect to target, not a problem. Next file can be connected to my customer number, then save it like this, right? If I run this mapping, customer number will get populated like 1 2 3 4 like that. So this is how I can use it. If I run this mapping again, it will get truncate load, and then, but as my target is
Mm.
like truncate target, in that case sequence needs to be marked as reset, right? Otherwise it will keep on generating sequence which might not start from 1 2 3 4 5, right? So that's how. And let me go to this. So we talked about expression, we talked about sorter, we talked about sequence. What else I can discuss
Actually, we
today?
could have used router instead of that filter now, right? I mean, that you would have
We
completed that
can,
one
we
too.
can. But router
Mm.
will take a little bit more time. We are just about to, reached